Donald Trump essentially pardoned a war criminal, and this is just disastrous for our military. The Secretary of the Navy resigned over it. Check it out. Ding the bell. Leave your comments. Share it with your friends, and please subscribe to our channel. Now, Michael in Denver. Hey, Michael, what's up?
Yes. Hi. Good morning, Tom. Tom, to your lead-in just before this caller about CPO Gallagher,
right,
and all. We forget about My Lai and Lieutenant Calley,
right,
and all, and the men that were in his detachment. They were the instrument, but he gave the orders. For me, the biggest lie in
well, hang on, just a second, if I may.
Yes,
Calley's men were the ones who ultimately turned him in. The same is true of Gallagher. Eight of the guys in his SEAL team testified against him. They're the ones who brought these charges, or who caused these charges to be brought up. I mean, this, what Trump is doing is not just destroying morale. What he's doing is destroying the principles on which your military operates. This was, George Washington during the Revolutionary War gave an order. The British were just notorious for literally starving American prisoners of war to death, for throwing them into absolute hellholes, for letting them die of dysentery and other diseases. And George Washington gave the order that all British prisoners of war were to be treated well. He said, treat them with respect. And the result of that was, as soon as it became well known among the British soldiers that if you surrendered to the American troops, you'd get 3 square meals and a decent place to sleep every night, and an opportunity to become an American citizen after the war was over, the British started surrendering like there was no tomorrow. I mean, that was one of the things that helped George Washington win the damn war. And that's always the case in war. You always want the enemy, as it were, to see you as human and reasonable and as an alternative to the government for which they're working. Anyhow, back to you, Michael.
That's the Navy I come from the Vietnam War. We made lots of mistakes, and there were crimes committed, I think, by every branch of the military in Vietnam. But I will tell you that I was there when some of our Navy guys going to Saigon got wild, and they had to pay the military price for it. They got court-martialed
for abusing civilians, basically.
Exactly. Women. Yeah. And which happened. It was very, very common. But if you got caught, you were going to face the joint panel. Right. And Tom, will we see the day? This is rhetorical. Remember what happened back in Germany when all of the military had to raise their right hands and in unison swear loyalty to the new Führer. I see in the fog that this is something in this guy's head, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I know how he thinks and all. He hides when he has to hide, and then he bolsters himself up like he's done this. He is now creating a schism in the military, which I see. Civilians might not see it yet, but he's going to have his guys on one side and the people's guys on the other side, and that's going to be a
last Friday when I was in Los Angeles, I had a long conversation with a fellow who is an expert on military matters, and he made a couple of points to me. I think one of the most important was that there's a growing schism in the military, in all branches right now, between the officers and the enlisted men. The officers, largely college-educated, enlisted men, largely high school educated. The officers are turning against Trump. They understand. I mean, many of them went to the War College, for the various services. Yeah. They understand that what Trump is doing is not only anti-American, but is also destructive to the military itself. Whereas the enlisted men are just, they're watching Fox News and listening to Rush Limbaugh on American Forces Radio and just going, yay, Trump. And this is dangerous, dangerous stuff.